So the reality is, like, you have to, and what I think that I've done a pretty decent job in is being honest and transparent about things. I'll tell you if you're in a good situation.
100%.
And earning that trust pretty quickly, but then being able to explain insurance in a way that's not going to be information overload. I can't make a decision now, or I'm bored at it.
Yep.
At it.
You put it into English.
Yeah.
Welcome.
Thank you.
Welcome. So today on episode 23 of Yellow Colored Glasses, not only do I have an amazing guest on.
You're the host.
I'm the host.
Mm-hmm.
But before we get started and before I give him an amazing introduction, we're going to start off with our review for Warren Mounts Agency. So, Chantel B, she left us an amazing, respectfully beautiful review. And she says, for those of you looking for an extremely helpful, caring insurance group, look no further. I have had a wonderful experience dealing with Warren Mounts Agency. I have had better coverage, and a very affordable price. They will do everything possible to get you the best insurance for your needs and your situation. Please give them a call. You will not be sorry. Wow. Heartfelt, baby.
I think you did a great job reading.
Yes,
too.
thank you.
Yeah.
Like I did on episode 20, the one before this, I might add an extra one or two words in there, but we get the concept. Thank you, Chantel. Thank you. Dang, there it is. Yeah. Clap. Okay. So today for our guest, we were lucky enough to bring on a good friend of mine. Just one of the highest character guys I know. From a personal side, on a professional side, I know we've brought on some other producers in the area, insurance-wise, but this dude, he would run circles around me. He did run circles around me in the year of 2022. He submitted over 100 life applications, had 100 issued. I'm not sure his commercial numbers, but the guy, if you put this guy in front of a big audience, he'd run circles not just around the guy in front of him, but everybody else in that room. So that's not an exaggeration at all. There's no extra words in that. I did not add anything. So with further ado, Austin Latsaw.
Well, I appreciate the introduction. Pumped to be here. To be fair, I think you undersold yourself a little bit.
No, I didn't.
I did get into the PNC world because of you and learned quite a bit. Now, I may have surpassed you since, but...
That's fine.
Yeah.
No, dude, for real, like when you told me, which we'll go into this in a second, but when you told me that you hit 100, issued apps, like, dude, there are agencies, entire insurance agencies that do not even submit 100 apps, much less issue 100 apps, much less be one single person that does that.
Yeah, I think it was crazy looking at some of the numbers, like even nationwide, how low some of the agents were. Now, I mean, they are PNC agents, so that may not be their main focus, which could be their excuse, but yeah.
I actually disagree with that because, in my opinion, if you are a life insurance agent and you are working at a PNC office, it is so easy. Well, easier. You have a
client base.
You have a client base, right? So anybody, now again, you have less time because you're focusing on other things, right? But there's literally life insurance agents that would pay to sit out here at a desk at ours just to answer phones and say, hey, have you guys got your life insurance needs? Where are they at, right? And you are doing, I know you're not doing anything PNC, right? You're just doing life insurance and commercial, right? But for somebody who does a lot of commercial stuff, anything that you can't do, you try to send it to me, and it's always the complicated stuff that it's like, gosh dang, Austin, why can't you just not send this to me? But
there's some big ones, though. There's some good ones.
Oh, yeah, amazing. I'm very happy that you send it all to me. But I say that because that commercial shit, that's complicated. and it takes time. It's not like just running a quote through a system and then whack, you get a phone, you get a number back. You have to.
With commercial especially, there's a lot of things, a lot of certain coverages that are relevant in one industry, but extremely important in another. And you're right. It's not something you just fly through because it's the business owner's livelihood. If they
I mean, it's way more important, and that's not taking anything away from a normal auto and home customer, but yeah, it's just totally different.
Yeah.
So, okay, man. So today, like I said, we wanted to bring you on, ask you some questions, interview you. Me and Austin have been knowing each other for a very long time, so I guess I'm going to we'll start with the personal story first, and then I do have a small story that I want to say about his wedding that we just had a couple weeks ago or months ago. That was very embarrassing and funny for me, and there's no shade to anybody else out there listening, but I got to tell it because I already said it out loud. So Austin, how did me and you meet? Tell everybody a little bit about yourself and then how we met.
Yeah. So gosh, I mean, 5 years ago we didn't know each other.
I think it's longer than that. I think 7. I think we've known each other about 7 years.
Have we? Okay. So roughly 8 years ago,
yeah,
we didn't even know each other. And then a year ago, you're best man at my wedding, which seems kind of crazy, but I feel like that's just kind of how life goes sometimes. But yeah, so
I'll hit on that one too. That's a little story. I think I started talking about that at the end of the night at the wedding, but I'll touch base back on that. So let's go forward.
All right, good. So your wife, Michaela, which by the way was a little bummed that my favorite Warren was not going to be here.
Understandable. Yeah, it sucks. It sucks.
So your wife, Michaela, and my girlfriend at the time were in dental hygiene school together.
Okay.
They became good friends, and we ended up going on a double date.
Do you know where we went?
No. See, that's what I was wondering. I remember vividly that we went to Freddy's and had ice cream.
But you don't remember where
I don't remember where we went before.
Bro, 54th Street. Gringo dip, fried chicken, sat in a booth.
No, I don't remember any of that.
Yeah, because Freddy's was just down the road.
That's right.
And we wanted to go there because we wanted some ice cream or something.
Yeah, but I do remember that vividly.
Okay.
But yeah, anyways, I think we hit it off, and I don't think we were like, oh, this guy, he's going to be my guy. But the funniest thing I think about it is that the girls in our life at the time were good friends, and we're just kind of tag along to their double date. And then they are no longer acquaintances. They don't really talk anymore.
Yep.
And then,
they're still. I mean, they don't.
Right. They're not enemies.
No,
by enemies, but
they just went separate ways, and
all good.
Hello, hi.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah. And then you and I have continued to kind of work it. I think that you introducing me and kind of bringing me into the PNC world helped kind of still facilitate, and we're able to continue connecting. But yeah, I mean, I think it was a random.
It was
kind of a coincidence that it ended up working out.
Yeah, it was awesome. Like it was like I remember Michaela was like, I got this friend in hygiene school, and we're we're hitting it off.
And you're always like, if you don't know the guy, you're
especially
like,
guys.
Like, babe,
guys are just, because you got this ego, especially at that age. Like you got, like, oh, I wonder what this guy's about. Like, do I need to be? Is he cooler than me? Like you got an ego.
Yeah.
Like no matter what anybody out there says, everybody's got a little ego at the end at the back of their mind.
You can't put all the walls down right up front.
No. Yeah. So, but me and Austin, I think we hit it off right off the bat. Now, I will say, you were a Northwestern Mutual dude, right, guy, at that time?
Yeah.
Okay.
Well, yeah, or just transitioning out of it, but yeah.
I think you were. Yeah, I honestly think you were just in it. Like when we first, you were still going at it. Now maybe I didn't know the back end, but up front, like Michaela was like, yeah, he works at Northwestern Mutual.
Yeah, it was probably like towards my last year and a half.
Yeah, I think so. Yeah. Definitely. And that's why I was like, okay, I'm in insurance. I do life insurance. I thought I was a financial guy too. Mm-hmm. I'm like, oh yeah, well, this will be fun. Let's see what this is about. So, man, yeah, that was great. I loved that. That was funny. And then we went golfing. We had a lot of common interest. We were into the same kind of industry. I remember we went out golfing. I think we went golfing to Shamrock. I think it was me and Nick
Actually,
Smith.
I meant to tell you this before, but I thought it was appropriate that I wore my favorite.
Is that Country Club?
Country Creek.
Country Creek. Oh man, that's a field with some
out.
golf holes.
Shout out. Not sponsored, but
sponsored. It's a sponsored ad by Country Creek. Country Creek is one of the best golf courses in the Kansas City area. They are just outside of Pleasant Hill. If you haven't given them a shot, give them a shot. Lose a shot, lose a ball.
It's tough to lose a ball.
It's tough to lose a ball because you're out in the middle of the field.
100% confidence booster.
So, okay, so me and you met through females, and then
2017, right?
2017.
17.
I can't.
No, maybe even before, because it was before Stella, right?
Yeah, you guys weren't even. She wasn't even pregnant at that time.
So
how old is she? That's a good.
Yeah, 2016 was when she was born.
So what is it?
15, 14 maybe. Dang, that's crazy.
I know. We've known each other long enough to see our hair.
We're not talking. We're
progress.
Cut that out.
Progress. Progress.
I should wear a hat.
Me too. All right. Anyways, okay. So that's how me and Austin met. Okay. So Austin, what do you do for a living, man?
Well, hold on.
Okay.
You had a couple stories there. We can't just skip past.
All right.
That.
Let's go back.
I've been excited. Yeah.
All right. So let's fast forward. So actually, let's take a step back. So that's how me and you met. Let's talk about yourself for just a second, personal stuff. So are you married? You got kids? What's that look like?
Yes, happily married to Madeline.
Okay.
And I've got 2 daughters, Stella and Manhattan. Manhattan is just a little over a year old.
That's awesome.
Yeah, she's Anyway, I'm a girl dad, hardcore. It's amazing.
But you can tell.
Can you?
Yeah, I can just tell you're more of a
Just
girl
glowing?
dad. Yeah, you have that vibe of you.
Yeah, I won't lie.
I bet that would be difficult.
See, that's the thing. So when I first got pregnant, I'm thinking, I want a boy, I want to be a coach, I want to be a dad. That's your mindset just naturally, I think, as a guy. And we didn't find out, and the doctor was like, hey, baby came out, what do you see?
Oh, you guys didn't know the gender until?
No, I didn't know until
Really?
birth, yeah.
Neither one of you?
Mm-mm.
Wow.
Yeah, which I highly recommend.
Dude, that would be
it's like the best Christmas present you've ever had, if you can even think about that.
Dude, I don't know if I could help. I don't know because that's like getting a Christmas gift, and so I'm a big giver. Like I love giving presents,
Mm-hmm.
and if for an example, anytime I've ever gotten Michaela a Christmas gift, I would say 95% of the Christmases I've given it to her before Christmas, and I've almost given it to her within 48 hours of me buying it.
Yeah. Sound like Maddie. She can't. Once she gets excited about something, I could be like, "Is that a yellow cup?" And she's like, and then that will lead to, "Yes, I'm taking you on a trip to Arizona." It's like, how did that? How did you tie that together? Yeah, but yeah.
Wow, that's cool.
Anyway,
I did not know that.
No, it's amazing. Yeah, I highly recommend it. But yeah, anyways, the doctor held her up and was like, "What do you see?" And I was like, "Stella Rose." And ever since then, been head over heels. Being a girl dad is amazing. I mean. A father-daughter relationship is a crazy cool thing.
Yep.
So it's funny now. At the beginning, I was excited, wanted to have a boy, and now having a boy makes me nervous. Like, I know how to be a girl dad, but being a boy dad, is that going to change anything? Probably not, but...
No, I'd say, I don't know. I don't have kids, but, if anything, it could make you even better of a boy dad.
Yeah.
Because you know how to treat, you can lead by example to say, hey, this is how you treat a woman.
Yeah. And I had a great role model in my dad, who helped me become, a good father, or what I hope to be a good father. And so I have no doubt it'll be fine. But it is just funny. It's like that's my comfort zone right now is girls.
For sure.
And I can handle being a girl dad all day.
Yeah. No, dude. Like I said, I know. I said this at the beginning, pretty dramatic. But again, you're one of the most high character dudes that I know. I've said this to you before. You're really good at what you do. Shit, I called you last night and it was like 7 o'clock and you're still freaking working, right? I was here too. But again, you just don't see stuff like that, especially the drive, the want to just be really good in all aspects of your life.
And you know what's crazy is I don't think anything of that. Like
I know it's not like you're trying to do it. I think that's the best. That's because you can see that outside looking in, because you're not a guy that's on social media posting about every single part of what your day is, which there's nothing wrong with that. That's a good, there's a good awareness with that.
Marketing.
Like that's free marketing. Mm-hmm. Honestly, you probably should be better at that.
I should, 100%.
I'm hit and miss with it. I'm whatever. But there's a way to go about things and be organic with it. And I think you do a hell of a job by just putting your nose down, going to work, and not really giving a shit if somebody else thinks you're good at it or not, only caring about what you know and right. What you think of yourself and what you can do for yourself. I feel like that's what are your thoughts on that?
Yeah, I think everyone cares a little bit about what other people think, right?
For sure.
And so, but I'm a big advocate of it really, really bugs me to brag about myself.
Yeah, it's
or
hard.
Talk myself up.
Yeah.
And so I really like for numbers to speak for themselves, or people to be like, dang, dude, like, you crushed it last month, or you're doing that. And
Yep.
it's like, and then the funny thing is, I love that. Like, that really gets me going. But I'll be like, oh yeah, it wasn't a big deal. I'll try to play it down.
Well, yeah, and I think that goes. That's I think why we get along so well, because I don't like getting compliments either. Like I like getting respect. I like not getting it, but I like earning the respect.
Right.
The earning the respect and the dividends that pays me down the road is the best feeling ever. But during that time, right, if I'm on the phones with somebody or trying to do something like, and I'd solve a problem for somebody, I don't really care what that looks like at that moment. It's about down the road, right? It's about the respect that you gained, that you earned. So that's kind of my thoughts on that, and I do think you do a very good job of kind of the same thing, and I think that's one of the things why we're such good friends.
Yeah, I appreciate it. I would agree.
All right, let's take a quick step back to this little story that I have. So a couple months ago, when was it? When did you guys get married? Like November 18th, right? 19th. Okay, damn, I'm an idiot.
You're a good friend.
So it's on a Friday night. We go to this rehearsal. And
This is Saturday.
No, the rehearsal. I'm talking.
Oh,
This is
gotcha.
not been on
I'm
the
sorry.
rehearsal.
Yeah.
So we're sitting in line. It's freaking cold. Okay, Austin and Madeline. They have a wedding outside. I loved it. It was great. I had a blast. Madeline. But my God, it was cold.
And the funny thing is, like, on the Monday after the wedding, it was like
beautiful.
55, 60 degrees, perfect.
And it was the coldest day of 2022. Honestly.
That is super dramatic. It was cold.
Was it? Is it though?
No.
Bro.
It was not the coldest.
It was one of the coldest.
It was above freezing.
No.
It was just windy.
It was
just windy.
okay.
It was
So
just windy
wind
and it
chills
cut
below zero. We're having a wedding outside, and I am freezing. Okay, and before we get out, like I'm literally thinking, God, dude, I just walked from my truck into here and I'm already freaking cold. And I'm sitting in line and I'm like, okay, I know how these rehearsals go. I'm going to be sitting outside. There's no heaters. It's like 4 o'clock, 5 o'clock, whatever time it is. It's getting closer to dark. I'm going to be fucking cold.
No, that's rehearsal because we did have big.
I know, but this is where this is where this whole story comes. God, no disrespect, but the girl I was walking with, I cannot remember her name.
Pretty sure it was Meredith.
Meredith?
I think so. Black hair?
Meredith? I don't know. I don't think so. I think it was blonde, but maybe so. Meredith. Let's go with Meredith.
Maybe Keely.
None of those names sound familiar. Either way, it does not matter. Whoever I was walking with, she goes, I've never seen you before. How do you and Austin know each other? Our wives know each other. I look at her and I say, our wives know each other. I'm like, oh God, that's the wrong answer.
It was the wrong answer.
Austin doesn't even have a wife. And I turned bright red. I'm just like, actually, that's totally incorrect. Like, and
totally
she's
wrong.
like thinking, like, she goes, how is that?
Like, I know.
They're not even married. She thought maybe I was talking about Matt. I'm like, nope, none of that is actually correct. It's actually Austin's ex. And anyways, I explained it, and it was just quite funny. And I told Austin the next day, I said, dude, I am so sorry. Like, I hope she doesn't tell him that. Like, I just felt like a freaking idiot. And I have thought about that moment for the last 2 months, like, randomly, because I'm like, what an idiot.
Well, I don't think it's a big deal.
It's
No one's
not.
going to take it personally, but
No.
it was funny when you told me that.
God, it was so funny.
Yeah, but
So, anyways, that was funny. So let's go back into. So we got like what, 15 minutes more? Yeah, 10, 15 minutes left.
yeah, I think
So,
I'm good, but
let's talk about your work.
yeah.
Okay, so Austin is well, actually just kind of tell us a timeline of where you started and you went to school. Where'd you go to school at? Tell us where you went to school at, and then kind of tell us your timeline on where you got to where you're at today.
Okay. So I went to Pittsburgh State University. That's where I studied, and had a buddy of mine who sent my name in and got recruited by Northwestern Mutual.
Okay.
While I was in college as a internship.
Okay.
At the time, needed an internship as a top 10 one in the country. I was like, boom, I'll throw it on a resume. It'll look good
Yep.
for whatever my next step is. Because I think, as you can understand, growing up, we're not like, man, I want to be an insurance agent
Nope.
someday. That's
Not at
never
all.
the goal. So I didn't see that really in my
Okay.
future. But anyways, started working there. I got a ton out of Northwestern. There was plenty of hard lessons learned and stuff that was frustrating, but it was all experiences to get me to.
Yep.
And Northwestern Mutual trained me very, very well. That is the one thing that you'll never hear me say anything other. As far as life insurance, even I got to be around a couple of really good financial advisors, and so it really just kind of helped me give me a foundation.
Okay.
I was there for like 4.5, 5 years, something like that.
Okay.
A little less, a little more.
So what were you licensed in? Did you have a series?
I never got a securities license.
Okay.
Yeah.
So you just had life and health?
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Yeah, so I was working with individual clients for a while, and then realized that structure at Northwestern was not
What you wanted?
not fitting me. Wasn't sure what I wanted to do. I'm still a super young kid. This is the first real experience I've had in the real world. So I ended up going to the group benefit side, kind of doing some health insurance and then group planning.
Okay.
Did not like that either. Do not want to do health insurance.
Me either. It's terrible.
Yeah, and so when I was finished with Northwestern, wasn't really sure what I wanted to do. A buddy of mine was like, hey, why don't you look in the banking world? Plenty of opportunity there. I was like, oh, that makes sense. Went to the banking world, learned a lot there too.
What'd you do there? So I know we've talked about that, but what did you do there?
I think my title was like personal banker too. So basically, I'd help set up accounts sometimes, but where I got a lot of enjoyment was helping clients with like HELOCs or loans. The HELOCs, I think, is the biggest thing that I took away from that.
Okay.
Being able to utilize that and leverage, hey, let's take all your debt here and help you out here.
Consolidating debt.
Yeah. So, I mean, everything. So, I think the biggest thing that I can give towards any success I've had has been that I've been very blessed and lucky that every stage that I've been in, I've learned something I've taken away from, which I think is huge, right?
Yep. And you can only take a couple, like if you can take a couple golden nuggets from each season, right? I mean, even as a child, we've been told to do this, X, Y, and Z. You take what you like, what you don't like, maybe what you don't want, right?
Mm-hmm.
And that's sometimes what's probably maybe drives you on what you want to do down the road, right? Then you go into Northwestern, young kid, probably motivated as hell, not knowing shit.
Very ignorant.
You're like, let's freaking roll.
Yep.
Which honestly, dude, at that age, I always thought was nothing, no shade at Northwestern Mutual, but they do a great job of getting young, hungry people in, and they learn a lot.
Mm-hmm.
Like that's amazing. Then the banking. So you've got the life and the health, the whole financial services, basically, environment, right? And then you've gone over to the banking, which is a totally different thing.
Yep.
And I love that. I wish we had some more time because we would really talk about some velocity banking, infinite banking that I've been wanting to freaking talk to you about.
Yeah.
So that's good. So then you went to banking. Then what?
Yeah. And I wasn't really happy there. I felt like I had a lot more that I could do, and the banking role, even if I moved up, which I was looking into, was like, hey, I can do one of the 5 things I want to do. And so I was very limited. So I started talking to you actually,
okay.
And you're like, man, you really should look into coming back into the insurance world, and joined with State Farm for a little bit. That
was not what you wanted.
Was not what I wanted. Not what I needed at the end. But luckily that I wouldn't be where I am today if I didn't have the PNC experience. Yep. And I was introduced actually from Maddie, the owner of the salon she works at, had been cutting Jennifer Meyer's hair, and we got introduced. And when I first started, so I'm at Farmers now.
Yep.
Jennifer Meyer's agency. When I started, I was doing PNC. Realized I don't really love that.
No.
And luckily, it really worked out well with Jen and I. I had a lot of life insurance experience. I had done well in the commercial field with State Farm, and she didn't really have anyone that was doing that. She specializes and crushes in the PNC world.
Yeah.
Number one in the agency, number one in the country the last 2 years. Jen crushes it. She's awesome. But she could really use someone that could do life and commercial. So we kind of started with just life, and then we moved to commercial, and now that's strictly what I do.
Okay. Yeah, man, that's awesome. And again, guys, so PNC, for anybody who's not familiar with that lingo, it's property and casualty. That's your normal auto and home insurance. That's a tough gig, man. Insurance is a tough gig. I mean, the turnover rate in insurance is very high. So for you to be in insurance as long as you've been in, like that's pretty impressive by itself. But to take it like 5 steps further, the amount of, so let's talk about that. The life insurance, dude. You've submitted, you issued over how many life insurance applications in 2022?
Like 128, 129.
You issued them? You issued 128? So you submitted probably what, 175?
Oh, I submitted a lot more than that.
Really?
Oh yeah. So
what do you, okay, let's go straight into that. One, do you know how much death benefit you protected in 2022 in total families, right? If you don't know, that's okay. What does that look like? Like, how do I do that, dude? Like, for real. Like, I think I submitted 75, or I have it on my thing, like 75 policies since we've been open. So about 50 policies a year is what I'm averaging, and that's issued. But so I'm bad.
Yeah, so I mean, my goal almost weekly is to try to hit 10 submitted.
God, what do you do? What does that look like? Give me your process.
Yeah, so I mean, I again very, very blessed. Jen and I have a good system worked out, and she brings clients in, and then I have a marketer who sets appointments for me from current clients. We're not doing any cold calling, which is fantastic. There's already that trust.
So it's warm leads. So it's people that are already trusting your
Current
guys'
clients,
agency.
yeah.
Okay, awesome.
And the crazy thing is, like, we've had a couple people in the agency before that wrote life, or they've, our current clients have had some experience with a life agent. But again, going back to the background, they don't really do what I do, I think.
Okay.
Almost 90% of the time, I'll get through halfway through. I'm like, hey, has anyone talked to you about this? Has anyone asked those? And they almost always say no. So I think that kind of gives me a leg up. But yeah, they set the appointment. I do, a quick introduction, explain who I am, and give them kind of a rundown. I was asked the other day, what type of policy you like to sell, or what do you try to sell? And I think that's a big thing about me is I don't go in like, oh, I want to get you to an IUL, or I want to get you to this. I have a conversation about their needs, figure out how much coverage we're going to need for them, what's appropriate, and so it's relevant for them. And then they start thinking like, man, yeah, if something happened to me, like, what does income look like if my husband passes away, blah, blah, blah. And so it's not just a number. Because
I was going to say, so let me take a step back. So what that means, what you just said to me, is that you're not just throwing policies on where someone's like, yeah, I got life insurance, but I'm putting a $50,000 term policy that's costing them $5 a month, $10 a month. Like, you're having legit conversations.
I will almost never match what they have. If you came to me and said, I've got $150,000, I'm not quoting $150,000.
Well, that's irrelevant because you are the professional.
And I have no idea how they came up with that number.
Correct. And this is the thing. So I'm sure you probably have the same mindset, and you tell me what you think about this. Do you ever go to a doctor's office and get treated for whatever and go to the doctor's office, and then you tell the doctor what the treatment should be, right?
Yeah, actually, I think I need 12 milligrams of that, doc.
Yeah, no, doc. I mean, this
You're
is
not
what
an order taker.
Correct. So, and that's I know that's kind of an extreme situation, but it's really not, because at the end of the day, like.
Same in mechanic. You go to the shop and
you need new brakes, and you don't. No, Mr. Mechanic, I think you need to change my oil because my brakes are squeaking.
Exactly.
Right?
Yeah.
No. Yeah. Okay, Mr. Customer. But guess what? That's where you come in, where it comes into a conversation, and that's where again, dude, that shows everything about what you're doing and how you're doing it.
I think so, and I really do pride myself on two things, I think, because just like you said, you go to the doctor, you go to the mechanic, you're not telling them what to do because what? Because you trust them.
Correct.
Right? So insurance, let's be honest, no one is waking up like, man, I want to talk to someone about insurance. Let's talk about insurance.
I'm going to the gym. I'm thinking about auto policy. I'm pushing out reps.
I'm thinking, should I increase my life?
God,
no one
life
talks
insurance.
about that, right?
Yeah.
No one talks about that.
That sounds pretty good. We could get people jacked up
listen,
right there.
We need to, yeah.
10 more reps, and I could get 10 more thousand on my life insurance policy, baby.
But so the reality is, like, you have to. And what I think that I've done a pretty decent job in is being honest and transparent about things. I'll tell you if you're in a good situation.
100%.
And earning that trust pretty quickly, but then being able to explain insurance in a way that's not going to be information overload. I can't make a decision now, or I'm bored at it.
Yep. You put it into English.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Dude, that's freaking awesome. So, do you know how much death benefit you protect people?
I don't.
Okay.
It was a good amount. I don't know if
it's okay. That's all right. I bet it's over 50 million.
Oh yeah, well over.
Yeah, and that's so impressive. I think, wow, that's impressive. So that means if Oh man, that's awesome, dude. That's a great feeling. Like realistically, like, because that's the beautiful part. I had a death claim a couple months ago, and this client, they were actually a teacher going on a motorcycle ride, and he had to get life insurance. His wife wanted him to get life insurance before he left. That was just the situation.
Wow.
And he was like, dude, I just need $100K. I'm like, no. I'm like, he had a $350,000 loan left on his house. I said, man, you need a minimum of $400,000. That you need it. I was like, I don't care. Like, if something happens, and he was kind of a jerk to me. He actually was a jerk to me. And I said, no, that's what I'm going to write. Like, if that's what we need to do.
See, now, I don't mean to interrupt you, but I think one thing to where when you get to a position that you and I are in, when I might have first got started, like, hey, $100,000, I'll do it because I'm hungry, I got to do it.
Correct.
But now it's like, listen, this is what you need.
Yep.
If you don't want it,
I'm not gonna.
We got plenty of other people out there.
Correct, and you can go elsewhere. And that's no disrespect, no shade. We'll do that in our office. We send people away from all the time. No, I want state minimums. Nothing wrong with that. There's a place for that, but I don't like that.
Can't forget about it. Yeah.
So, not for us. Now we're gonna spit the value and all this other stuff, but if they're still demanding, hey, you know what? That's fine, Mr. Client. You guys can go elsewhere. I got this person, whatever. So, this scenario, this person ended up getting a $400,000 life policy. Died 3 weeks later. Not on that motorcycle trip, actually going out to somewhere else, hit a semi and died. And it was, that was such a crappy feeling, but at the same time to know that you literally completely changed they had a horrible situation happen to them. Yeah. And you just helped that situation. You did not fix that situation. You helped.
Yeah.
And that's what it is about, dude. And you can tell like a guy who's not just, man, because there's so many agents out there that are just pushing policies just to get awards, and they're just pushing numbers. And that's why I've always had respect for you as well, because it's not about the awards. It's not about the recognition you're going to get that you are getting. It's about what you're actually doing for that person sitting in front of you. And I think that's what makes you so hungry to be sitting at work at 7 o'clock at night, freaking rocking and rolling and still. Yeah. Right?
I mean, we talked about this a little earlier about commercial insurance. Like, that is a business owner's livelihood, right? You do something wrong, something happens, they're out the money. 10, 50,000.
Yep, that can destroy their business.
Exactly, it's the same thing with life insurance. Like, that's a huge thing, and a lot of times when you talk to those people, I want 100,000, I'm not going to do anymore. The only thing, something I learned early on, is the only thing you can do is explain in the best way you can why they need it, and if they choose not to, you've done your job.
Yep.
As frustrating as that can be,
that's all you can do.
Luckily, you did your job, and they responded. And
yeah, because and then there was another time where I had another person, and I was talking to him, and he was like, I need to wait for this, and I really pushed pretty hard, and not because I was trying to get a sale, not because I was trying to get a policy. Like, I really do believe that when people say they're just going to wait in a couple months, that's fine. You can do that. But you have a huge variable that you are running with every single day here, and you're not eliminating that variable. This guy that I had a conversation with died 3 weeks ago. I tried everything I could do. Like, I can rest assured that rest easy that I did what I could do. Now it sucks. I'm not going to say it's not on my mind, but if we have those type of conversations, which I know I do and I know you do because your numbers speak for itself, it's the best feeling ever. So the other thing. Dun, 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 dun. Austin may or may not be invited to speak at a national level to talk about his success. So we're not going to go into depth with that, but I want you guys to know that the guy sitting across from me, we're not going to give that all out right now, but he has been recognized by some of the tops of the tops of the tops in the country, and that's a freaking, I'm telling you guys, what he has done, I have never seen. And we did some consulting before I was with State Farm to now, and that's all we did was talk to hundreds of agencies on a weekly basis, and I'm telling you, I've never, ever met someone that's done what you're doing and also done the value in the conversations that you're having. So, bro, kudos. Go home. Have some Whistle Pig, baby.
I will.
We should have had a glass of Whistle Pig.
Yeah, I know. I was thinking, but it is 7 in the morning or whatever.
Is it?
Well, it was.
Dude, I'm jacked up.
Me too. But yeah.
What else? So, Not to talk about some more in Mounts Agency at all, really, but I called Austin one day and offered him not even offered him, basically tried convincing him to come work with us. And I told Michaela, I was like, I don't see how he doesn't do this. Yeah. I was like, I'm going to try and do whatever I can take. And this is awesome. Like, I was kind of like a little like upset and confused. And I felt like it almost like was like he didn't trust me. But it wasn't that at all. No. After I started thinking, it was about he's in a beautiful situation. Yeah. And he's loving it and he's doing it. And honestly, I just tried, I don't want to say bribing you, but I tried making it such a sexy offer.
It was a sweet deal.
Like that I was like, dude, whatever we got to do. This is how I look at this. Is like, you're the Kansas City Chiefs. And you got a Patrick Mahomes, baby, sitting on the draft board, baby, and you're trying to give away first round for the next 6 years. I'm like, man, I don't know how we do this year one, but we got to figure it out, and we got to get this dude down here. So I was spitting everything I could to try to get him, and it didn't work out. And honestly, I'm so happy. I'm not, but at the same time, I'm happy that he basically stayed with where he's at, because that just gave him confirmation that you're in the right spot right now, in my opinion.
I'm glad you said that, though, because it really was man, I'm in a great place, and I was super excited, and it was some serious thoughts, some serious conversation with Maddie and I, a couple mentors of mine. Like, it was not an easy decision, but in the time, it was, I was doing very well. Hattie was coming on the way. It was like, and I'll be honest, I wasn't super pumped to have to drive.
No, dude, and honestly, man, like,
so it was nothing personal at all. I would have loved to do it.
And maybe it'll happen someday. Yeah, maybe. No, maybe not. Maybe it will. You never know. I doubt it will, because I think you're in an amazing spot. And honestly, like, I would never come to you back again and put you in another spot unless it was something totally different. Because, again, this spot's open, but you're in an awesome spot.
Well, and one thing I do appreciate is that you've never, once I said no, it was done. There's never been any like, man, you sure you don't want to? Like, every once in a while, kind of needing that thing. And
nope.
We have a good working relationship, and you help me out a lot of time. We pick each other's brains quite a bit. But I do appreciate that. The respect.
But on my side, I will tell you, I took it. I took it. I was like, not mad at all. Not at all, actually. But I took it hard. I'm like I kind of thought maybe, you didn't trust, in warrant amounts. And honestly, but I get it, because we're a freaking scratch agency, all brand new, independent.
But here's the thing.
I know it wasn't that, though. It had nothing to do with that, realistically.
But here's the reality is, the one thing I do know about you is you may fly off a cliff before you really realize or think about where you're going, which I need more of, honestly.
You do.
But the one thing is that I've noticed you've always landed on your feet. Yep. So I had no doubt. Now, I didn't know if it was going to be a year, 2 years before you got really up and running and crushing it. Turns out you did it in less than a year, which hats off to you. We haven't really talked about how much you're crushing it. But
we did.
I had no doubt that you were going to get there. It was just, when do we get there? And I'm in a good place here. Do I risk taking a year and a half or 2 years before? So,
and you did not know, because at that time, bro, which we're still rocking and rolling. We have Caleb Shepard in this room that he's rocking and doing it. We did $6 million in commercial auto last year, over $1 million in PNC, 100+ life apps. So we had a hell of a year, a year that I never ever thought we would do. But
it would have been cool.
It would have been fun, but you're right, dude. Like, I'll just take off and just hope. I'll just try to jump from one tree to the next and just think that I can get there, and hopefully I can. And I think you got to have some balance, and that's where I was like, man, I think it'd be cool to get Austin in here to balance me out a little bit.
Yeah, I do think we would have worked well together. But
anyways, no, to go on to that, man, like. Then I get a phone call. So me and Austin, that all happens. And then, Austin so anything Austin can't do, you reach out to me, and I try to take care of that client. We have a good relationship, I feel like, with that. Sure. And then I get a call one time, and he's like, hey, dude, I want to talk to you about something. And I was like, oh man, what do you want to talk about? I had no idea. I was like, does he want to talk about work? I'm like, no, because I know because I did. I
want to talk about what?
I thought you wanted to talk about work.
Oh, yeah.
Or, maybe come. I didn't know.
Sure.
He's like, dude, do you want to be one of the best mans at my wedding? I'm like, well, hell yeah, dude. Like, I was like jacked up, because honestly, I felt like I might have kind of given you a bad vibe afterwards, which I was not. I was just more like Like, I don't know. So that reconnected all of my thoughts. Like, you know what? Like, all those thoughts that I thought maybe he didn't trust it in that situation has nothing to do with that. It was all about, I'm in a good spot, Jake, and just I just want to continue to roll with this. And I respect the hell out of that, because that's a hard thing to do. Like, one, change is definitely hard, but to also, I don't know, man, like to kind of trust your instincts and know, like, this is what I need to be doing. This is what I am doing. I'm going to commit to this. I'm not going to let this other thing distract me on my complete goal. So with that being,
decision. It was a big decision.
I love it, dude.
Sure.
I freaking love it. And it paid off. So with that, what's next? What's next for you?
Yeah, I mean, like I said, Jen and I teamed up, and she has an amazing office. She's a fantastic leader, and
let me tell you this, Jen. I met Jen. She's awesome. Like, she seems like a freaking hustler, a go-getter. I mean, you can just tell. And I think I know she would agree. She's only as good as the people she has working for her, right? And that goes to show with everything with you. But then also goes to show as her as a leader and everything. Like, she has hustlers working for her. So it's not just her, it's not just you, it's that whole damn office up there. You guys, I mean, I don't know all the details of it, but I know some of them, and you guys are freaking killing it.
Yeah, 100%. And we're constantly growing. I think we have to evolve, otherwise we're going to start falling behind, But yeah, the next step for me personally is to continue to grow life and commercial, to where hopefully I've got some other sales guys underneath me, not just service and marketing. As far as the agency, we continue to grow. I'm not sure how much I can share, but
that's okay.
We have some big goals, which I think is exciting for me. That's the one area I felt frustrated with previously, is like, I'm either where I'm at or I have to open my own agency, and I don't want to do that right now.
Yeah.
And so here, there's a lot of room that I can move up and change up. And so, yeah, it's super exciting. Like I said, very, very good fit. And then it's all worked out very well for both of us.
Yep. No, I agree, man. And I think this relationship will only get stronger with the years to come. We're more mature. We have very like-minded goals. I know we've talked about a lot of stuff outside of insurance, and I just think that, dude, it's cool to have another, because we're young, man. Like, and we're in our. I mean, are you 30?
29.
29. So I'm 31. You're 29. Like, man, there's just not a lot, like, in our generation, like, if you have a little bit of basically a little bit of grit and a little bit of like, you want to rock shit and knock stuff out of the park, like, it's pretty easy, because we don't have a lot of competition in our generation. No shade.
Yeah.
It's just, in the insurance side is what I'm more so talking about. Because a lot of the generation insurance they're the older clientele, and they're kind of on their way out. So there's a big opportunity, especially in our area, to be kind of a go-to insurance financial services person.
Yeah, I agree.
And there's some really cool strategies that I know I've been freaking obsessing over the past 12 months and having some freaking amazing success with, that I want to share with you guys. But I can't wait for me and you to kind of talk about that, and maybe we can do that on the next one. But
yeah, I'd love to. I know it's funny, the first time you called me and told me about it, you were telling me about it. It's not even something that I can offer right now. And I was like, I was jacked up. I was like, are you kidding? That dude, like, because I mean, the concept, I think I'd maybe known, but like, it was super rough, and had no idea that it was a real strategy.
And
and I got super pumped.
Dude, I know. And I was actually at a real estate conference, and I had just closed actually a client that you had sent me, big client, very nice client, big apartment complex. And I was jacked up about that, but I'm like, dude, we need to talk about this. And because Austin came from the banking world for the most part, and he's familiar with this whole HELOC situation. And guys, I know you guys have heard us, but at Warren Mountain, like, we're big on this whole velocity banking, and we're combining it with the infinite banking. And the infinite banking is stuff that, the wealthy have used for years upon years, and we're helping the middle class and everything else get into that, and how to structure those things and engineer those policies. But dude, it's just so cool, because I cannot wait for you to kind of pick your brain on that and get another person's thoughts on that, because again, I think it'll be really cool that it'll be another service you'll be able to offer.
I think one of the biggest things that got me pumped up about it was, it's the same thing with the HELOC. Like, thinking I can help solve a client's or a customer's problems, and it's helping. It's a good thing for me. It's a good thing for them.
Yep.
Which I think was the biggest thing when you were talking was like, dude, this is a win-win.
Yeah.
Like this is a huge win-win.
If I told you Austin Latsaw, Mr. Austin Latsaw, if I could pay, if I could get your house paid off in 6 years when you originally had 30 years left on that loan, right? And you not making $1 more, and you were just changing where you put your money at and having access to everything it is, literally not doing anything different but 2 things, and I could pay your house off in 24 years faster, would you say I was crazy?
Yeah, I would say what's the catch?
What the hell?
Sure.
What we're breaking laws?
Yeah.
What are we doing?
Yeah.
No. It's what we have not learned to do because
It's not taught.
it's not taught.
No.
And you know why it's not taught?
There's not a class in college.
There's not a taught because guess what? The banks aren't making money. They're not going to sit there and say, hey, if you want to save $100K in interest because if we make $100K in interest, you should do this. So, anyways.
Yeah, whole different topic.
I can't wait to talk about that, but no, man. I mean, appreciate you coming on to yellow colored glasses to see it
and
is.
I meant to bring my yellow colored glasses.
You should have, bro.
Yeah,
it's different. I mean, I know this room has this little atmosphere and this little
cool
environment in here, but there's not very many. There's only been about 22 to 23 people that have been able to see Warren Amounts Agency through the yellow colored glasses.
Wow. Well, blessed that. Very much appreciate you, your friendship, everything. Super excited for Warren Amounts. You guys have crushed it. I'm not a big social media guy, but I try to give you guys shout outs or support you guys when I can.
And like I said, man,
very proud
the
of y'all.
biggest thing with Austin, you guys, to take it away from, one of the most high character guys that I know, trustworthy. The dude does not, he wants to be freaking amazing at what he does, and he is. And he doesn't necessarily need the recognition, even though he likes it on the back end. But he doesn't expect it. That's not why he does it. He does it because he wants to be great and he wants to do well for another person. And then all of the dividends that come from that, right?
Yeah.
Bring it on, baby.
For sure.
Okay. Anything else?
No, man, that was it.
Okay, it's Thursday. January 12th, 8:30. You got to get to work. We got to get to work. The roads are terrible. Stay off the roads if you got liability.
Clean your cars off.
Clean your cars for your wives, which I know, again, Austin. I mean, if the lady is listening, I don't know if she came out to a clean car, but he told me that he cleaned your car off. So
She did. She came out to.
I didn't clean my wife's car off, but it was in the fucking garage. So, episode 22. Cut.